Okay. Alright. That's cool. That's really good. That stream quality is awesome. Do I have everything that I need? I think so. Alright, hello. I think we got this pretty well squared away. It looks pretty good on my end. Uh, my GPU isn't being utilized too heavy. My CPU isn't being utilized too heavy. It looks pretty good. Now, I just missed my entry on AVVH because I was messing with stream settings. But when this volume started coming in here, would have been a great time to get in. Around 4.5 cents right there. Uh, and as you can see, it's continued upwards. Volume's really coming in now. I think we're going to get probably a decent little run out of this right now. I won't chase up here, but if we get a decent little run and then a little bit of a pullback, I'll hop in and see how long that we can ride it for. What else do we have? Anything else going on? NXMR. So that had a press release on the 7th. It was in the morning though, so it was kind of a delayed reaction, I'd say. So we'll stay away from that one. It had a decent spike up this morning, but it's come back down, and I don't like the volume at all. Only 250,000 at a max. RBSH, rubbish. No, not really liking that action at all. No volume. Really not a whole heck of a lot going on right now. Let's say. Now, of course, AGNC. I have 10,000 shares of this from 1530, I think, um, and it's going to pay out my dividends today. $120 in dividends per month on 10,000 shares, which is just over $15,000. It's not a bad setup. If you want some safe money, I would definitely recommend looking into this, especially if you have 15, 20, 25,000 to just park somewhere. You can see that the low in the past 52 weeks is 1442, and the high is 1884. So, based on growth potential, it's got a pretty good margin as well, um, versus risk. So obviously I'd be risking off the low of the year. but hopefully we can retest those 18s at some point. But in the meantime, it's paying me 120 bucks consistently every month, so that's not bad. I'm okay with that. What else do we have going on today? PCTL, of course, this is my long-term hold. I have sitting order to add another 100,000 at 0.0221. If that happens, then great. If not, then I'm not overly worried about it. Uh, I have 2.2 million shares from a 2.99 cent average, so I'm still underwater a little bit on that one, but the growth potential is there. I'm looking for a 10 bagger out of that at some point this week, so that would be really good. Uh, what else do we have? So AVVH was right off the watch list this morning. Um, Getting a little bit of a pullback now. We'll see if it can drop closer to the 0.046 level before we decide if we want to hop in or not. ENZC, I was looking for a morning panic dip buy, but doesn't look like we're going to get it. This is a heavily promoted stock, so it's sometimes hard to guess what the action is going to do on something like that. The other one was TGGI, looking for any big intraday panics. You can see that there's been a couple over the past 10 days or so. Big sellers just taking out everybody, and then dip buyers buying it and bringing it back up. So we're still looking for any intraday panic out of that one. Not seeing a whole heck of a lot moving today. It looks like a fairly slow day overall. How's that stream looking? Showing that I have an excellent connection. It looks pretty dang sharp and clear on my screen. Um, let's see, it doesn't look that great on mobile for some reason. Probably because my settings on mobile are 144p. There we go. So we set that back up to 1080p, and it looks sharp and clear. I'm actually super impressed by this. So the mistake I was making was actually trying to get my graphics card to encode it as well as do everything else when I have a stupid strong CPU. It's an Intel Core i9 10900K. So I just put it on the highest setting for encoding for my CPU, and it is chugging. It's only using about 27%. I should probably check the temperature of that. I have a liquid cooler set up, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But let's take a peek. See on the diagnostics. GPU temperature stable. Memory usage is good. Fan speed 63%. CPU temperatures are all in the 40s degrees Celsius, so we're looking good. Now that one's climbing a little bit, but nothing too scary. Overall, I'm happy with that. I got a couple more cooling fans on the way, so that'll help as well. But overall, looking pretty good. I think we're stable enough. Cool, 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 cool. Alright, for those of you that are watching, is there anything that you would like me to take a peek at and give my opinion on? Not seeing too much right now. Let's see. T-Soy. Chat just said T-Soy. There's nothing doing there. It seems to have found a decent base here at around 2.6, but I don't see it without a PR, a big PR. I don't see it doing much. It had a little attempt at a spike on the last PR on 1-3. Um, Definitely going to need a PR and some volume to do anything. So nothing doing there. Uh, like most OTCs, kind of slow right now. Let's see. It looks like we just had some breaking news on FBCD. Nothing there either. She is slow and dead. Slow and dead. We are all good on the streaming front. That's cool. Might have to try video games again at some point. My work graphics card did not like trying to play a game as well as trying to encode it. But now that I know that my CPU can handle encoding, we might be able to do something there. That's cool. I do have a VR headset on the way as well, which will be cool. That should be here Thursday. So sometimes when it's really slow, I'll pull back up my pre-market scan and see if I can catch anything off from this that isn't being picked up on my other scanners. RGST, they had a PR this morning, I knew that, but didn't really expect too much out of it, and volume is low. So not a huge fan of any plays on that one. VXIT, again, low volume mover, sub penny, so it can be extremely volatile and not super liquid. So if you took like a million share position here, it could be very hard to get out, especially when the spread is 0.0042. I didn't even see that, so I definitely would not take anything there. You know, if you bought at 0.0045, 1 million shares, and you're looking at a $300 loss if you want to get out, and there's not even that many shares showing on the bid, so that could be very ugly. Been stung by that a couple of times. Of course, TGGI I'm watching for a move later in the day. AVVH I'm watching for an entry opportunity actually pretty quickly here, but still not quite where I want it to be. Like it to pull back to the 4-6 area, although we're starting to get some sustained volume by the look of it up around this area. Let's take a peek. So it's lighter volume right now, so this could go either way. It is a good sign that it's holding up on lighter volume, but all it takes is one big seller and collapses all over it. So that's probably my number one watch right now, though, for a decent entry. I want to see volume pick back up, see what happens there. INTK, I've been chicken on this one, to be honest, because if you look at the chart for the past, 4 months, look at this. So we're bouncing from 0.0003 to 0.01. Like, I don't know. This thing just scared the crap out of me. It's been a really good runner over the past month, but that insane range is what scared me from taking any trades on that one. ASTI, that looks ugly. GTII. I was gonna say, I think I remember that being a penny stock, and it definitely was 0.07 way back in the day, just about a year ago. Looks like we're playing on $2. Of course, no liquid, nothing setting up there that I'd want to play. There's just not a lot happening out there. I am glad I took this time to get my stream straightened away, though. For future use, maybe there'll be more stuff happening, and actually be able to show you guys some action. Right now, Not seeing a whole heck of a lot. So my pre-market scan over here doesn't have a lot of volume restrictions. So you can see some of these have barely traded any. That's because in a pre-market, sometimes they don't trade many shares, and I want it to pop up. But you know, something that's traded 156,000 shares, I'm not going to be interested in. It definitely needs to have a higher volume than what the limits are on my pre-market watch list. Opening bell scan. Sometimes this will come up with a runner, um, if there was one. So ADMP doesn't look too bad, but that's a Nasdaq stock, so not something I'm super familiar with. Looks like it's having a pretty decent run today on. Oh, they got FDA approval for treatment and prevention of COVID-19, so that's pretty big news. If I'd seen ADMP earlier, I might have taken a stab at it, but once again, it's a Nasdaq stock, so not something I'm super familiar with or really want to play, especially up at that level where it's up 26% on the day, going into midday at 10:30. And I don't know if I've covered that recently, but the reason I don't play a lot of Nasdaq stocks is the choppiness of them. They can be super choppy, and a lot of times I get faked out by certain moves, and then I'll hop out, and then they'll go up without me. It happens sometimes in OTCs as well, but less so. OTCs are a little more predictable on the choppiness aspect. ICOA is doing something today. It's up 11%, no volume, pass. That's about it. Go use the restroom. I'll be right back. Alright, that morning poo was brought to you by the in-laws meatloaf last night and apple cinnamon tastios this morning. Alright, I just had an epiphany and had to make sure that my black box was up here. Because if not, then you guys would have access to my account information, which would be less than ideal. Maybe not. Maybe you guys could make me some money. But, anyways. Back to the search for a stock to play. Not seeing anything. We're gonna click on the wrong one there. I want my 15% plus winners. There we go. Be now. Ugly. I remember this being a pretty good runner. Last time it ran. For NASDAQ anyways. Oh, in one of my chat groups, somebody said DWAC was popping. And it is. Nice little pop up there. Fun should be following. And it is. How about GBHL? So that's a penny stock. Really sub penny stock. That kind of runs in sympathy sometimes to DWAC and FPHUN. But it doesn't look like it's doing much today. We'll stay away. Is there a PR or anything? Not really. Okay. Looking at the PCPL for the level 2 action, see if we're getting close to my order. Not really. 233,000 shares sitting at 0.0231. Probably going to prevent me from getting there. Spread's getting a little ugly. 0.025 is the sell right now, which is actually decent. It's actually a good sign that they're not moving the sell down with the bids, but it would be better if there was more bids. Of course, looking at the long-term chart, still kind of looking for this cup and handle setup. Been consolidating here for a little while now. Hopefully we'll get a nice bump up and be testing 4 cents within the next week or so. Would be ideal. Might need a press release in order to garner that enough volume to do so. What else we got? Anything happening is the question. We're still playing with some stuff, so sorry if that's bugging you. Trying to get some stuff going. Da 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 do do. If you are watching this on mobile, make sure that you select the highest setting for your resolution. Mine automatically goes to the lowest, which it looks like a potato, which is not good. Not sure why. Which is not good. Not sure why. Okay, we're good. We're here. We're doing it. We're doing it. Okay, we're good. We're here. We're doing it. We're doing it. AVVH is making another bid at the high of day, kinda. Choppy volume right now. If we get a sustained volume surge and a break of high a day, I might hop in on that one, but not at this very moment. Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba. ENZC seems to be bouncing a little bit. Again, no volume. Didn't really morning panic. No play there from me. TGGI. We are holding off until the afternoon. And see what happens there. You know, it made another bid at high a day right here, which was almost good. That was relatively low volume. Actually, all day has been relatively low volume. We will see what happens with TGGI. AXA not really doing anything. There's just not a lot happening this morning. Probably go for another few minutes and then cut it off. We're gonna plan to go live tomorrow morning as well. See if we can't get it to be a regular thing, and see if we can get some more engagement. Remember, if you're tuning in on mobile, make sure that you hit that quality button. Mine was 144p when I first went, and obviously that looks like a potato, but the stream itself actually looks pretty dang sharp at 1440p. It's looking pretty good. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's get it. Alright, AVVH approaching high a day. We're gonna keep this one up here for now, and see if it makes sense to hop in or not. Right now, no it doesn't. Conceivably, if I did enter here, I would risk off from a break of 48. So we'll do some quick calculations here, get a trade plan going. So 0.0493, well, here, let's do this. Probably a $2,000 position divided by 0.05, 40,000 shares, so let's say 0.0495 minus 0.048 times 40,000. Be risking about $60, and we'd be looking for basically probably a 60-cent test would be a good spot to be aiming for. Now I'm torn right now between entering and not entering, because if I enter, is it a boredom trade, or is it an actual well-conceived trade plan that I would be executing at this point? Welcome to the stream. Make sure that you hit that settings button, especially if you're on mobile. Stream's looking pretty sharp, so make sure it's looking sharp on your end. Increase that quality to 1440. We're doing it. We're doing it. We are looking at AVVH, watching it approach the high of day here. on low volume. Um, that's the only downside to AVVH right now is low volume. If we start to get a volume surge, it could really run. As it proved yesterday, it went up over 100% on medium range volume. Now today, we're actually matching yesterday's volume. Uh, could need a little bit of more consolidation before it has another leg up, though, especially after that huge gap up this morning. You can see it get from 0.042 all the way up to 0.049 something. That's a huge gap up. Would have been a nice weekend hold. No PR, so that's why I did not hold it over the weekend. But there was news elsewhere. They have a acquisition rumor, supposedly going to be announcing their partner, or merger. It's a merger, sorry. They're supposedly going to be announcing their merger later this week. Alright, so you can see, no you can't see, but we're going to make it so you can see. We're going to move me, so we can watch the level 2 here. Where do I go? Do I go good there? Yeah, we'll put me there for now. So you can see the level 2 here. 0.0497 is showing 320,000 shares. Now it's down to 10,000. Actually, a big order went through on the sales tape of 300,000, but that 10,000 is not giving way. There it goes. Now we got a new high a day. Volume's coming in, and gonna see if I can hop in. So I got an order in for 0.0505, 40,000 shares. Not sure I'm gonna get filled. Just got filled. And we're got another step up here. So my goal on this one is a 6-cent test. Might be pretty quick, might not be. I am risking off from a 0.048 break. So at 40,000 shares, of course my entry was a little higher than I would have liked. Chased a little bit. Risking $100 though. So, it is what it is. We're aiming for, if we can get a 6-cent test. Then it's a $380 win. So it's pretty good risk to reward. We will see what happens though. Whether or not we are able to get that much of a run out of it or not remains to be seen. The volume is really strong right now on the intraday as well as the daily. You can see we're almost at all of yesterday's volume already, just over an hour into the day. So this could turn into an all-day hold. I have my risk level set. We are looking for 6 cents or a 0.048 break, which is where we are right now, risking $100, looking for a $380 win. We shall see what happens. Volume's kind of dried up a little bit for the second, but we'll see what happens. We just got another leg up, and it's either going to go, or it's going to fail, or it's going to consolidate. 3 options. We'll see what happens. I'm going to move myself back down to this. Gonna make myself a little smaller. How's that? There we go. Now I'm down in the corner. Been a bad boy. So we're keeping a pretty tight risk on this one. You know, it's been up for 2 days now. We're up over 100%, like 130%. So want to keep a pretty tight risk, but I do not want to use a stop loss there. And why don't I want to use a stop loss? Because on OTCs especially, and sometimes NASDAQs, market makers will screw with your stop loss and bring the stock price down just to take out your stop loss and then skyrocket upwards. I've had it happen a couple of times. didn't learn the first time, so had to have it happen again. But we've learned now, no stop losses are being used, just mental stops, and if it breaches that level convincingly, then I will exit my position. So now we're just being patient. That's one of my downfalls, is my patience in my trades. We're kind of just chopping around a little bit right now in the low 5 cent range. At 504, I am losing, I don't know, it's not popping up, $4. At 506, I am up $4. As you can see today, I lost $54 on my AITX trade. We will actually take a peek at that right now. So my AITX trade was from 0.0215 here to 0.025 here, and cut it. That was a good cut. Faded the rest of the day. At 203, I am down. Oh, we're up 505 now. So break even. Now, of course, TD Ameritrade charges $6.95 one way for commissions. So I have to make at least $14 on any trade to break even, unfortunately. And you used to be able to negotiate with them a little bit on those commissions, but now that they're merging with Schwab, they won't do anything for them. Hopefully they'll adopt Schwab's commission-free strategy in the future, but I've been hearing that there's going to be changes made for months now and nothing has happened. So not putting too many eggs in that basket. We're still chopping around. Low volume again. You can see back when this ran in May, which was actually shortly after most penny stocks went crazy in February and March, but you can see when it ran in May, it was a multi-week runner, almost a multi-month runner, and topped out at the 10-cent area. Now I can't say that I'd have enough patience and conviction to stick in there. AITX, let's take a peek. I took that this morning and I lost a little bit of money on it. I took it from 215 to 205 right here. And then of course it broke the high of day, but very, very quickly. I don't think I would have gotten executed there. But it's been kind of fading the rest of the day. They had a PR this morning. If there's going to be a lot of strength, I think we would have seen it already. It is holding the gap up pretty decently, but there's no volume to speak of. So there, I would not take any trade on AITX right now. You know, if we start getting some volume, especially into the afternoon, if we can start approaching that high a day with some added volume, it could set up for an ABCD pattern. But right now, there's nothing doing for me on AITX. So still babysitting our position in AVVH. 0.0505 was our entry. 40,000 shares. That's what we're looking at right now. And not much else happening. Of course, NASDAQ, there's a few going crazy. So ADMP, I mentioned a few minutes ago, would have been a decent entry at around 7.5, but being a NASDAQ and being up so much going into midday, it's not something I would take. RBSH, too light on the volume. B now, too light on the volume, and definitely a sub penny stock there. So not a huge fan of that. ENZC kind of had a little perk there above VWAP. Now VWAP, these are the three lines on my chart, and it's got volume weighted average price is the middle one, and then it's got an upper band and a lower band. Now VWAP doesn't have as much of effect on OTCs as much as it does on NASDAQ or listed stocks, but it's still a good thing to keep on your chart. gives you an idea of, hey, there's this many people in at this price, so I'm sitting good or I'm not sitting good. That's basically what the VWAP will tell you. My long-term hold position, small volume today, chopping around. Still have my order in for plus 100,000 shares at 0.0221. Now AVVH looks like it's going to be a little bit of a slow grinder, which is okay. I've been working on my patience with these recently. Of course, we're in at 505, risking off from 0.048 break. Again, not using hard stops because market makers like to take those out for fun and games. So if you ever meet a market maker, give them a nice stiff right hand for me. They've cost me some money in the past. Did that answer your question there, King Kid? I think that's an I. Might be an L. King KLD. Looks like AVVH is going to go down a little bit here. Of course, we're going to stick to our risk level. On mobile, usually it updates my unrealized profit and loss a little better than switching back and forth, but my TD Ameritrade is being slow right now. Right now down $20 on AVVH. Not panicking, not selling yet. There we go, my mobile's back up to speed now. In case you missed it earlier, I do have some money in AGNC as well. Now AGNC, my main thesis with this one is the dividends. So last year, over the past 12 years, they've averaged 9.5%. 12 months, they've averaged 9.5% yield on dividends. So this month, and they pay out monthly. So this month it's 12 cents per share. It's paying out today actually, so it's 120 bucks on my 15,000 share position a month. So over the course of the year, that'll be a $1,400 payback. So long term, AGNC is a very stable, dividend heavy company that I like being in right now. The downside would be to 1440. Upside, of course, is 1884, which is awesome. So I not only do I like the growth aspect of it, but also the monthly dividends are awesome. So we're gonna stay parked in that for quite a while, see what happens. We're gonna pull back up AVVH, pulling back off from the high a day now, which is sometimes to be expected, but that's a pretty sharp one there. So I'm actually pulling up on my phone. I execute all my trades on my phone. I like the interface better on TD Ameritrade Mobile versus Thinkorswim. I think it's easier to use. So I'm pulling this up right now, and I'm going to have my order ready for 479 in case this gets to 48, and then I will cut my position for my roughly $100 loss and move on to the next one. In an ideal world, this will find some traction here and spike back up towards high a day, or at least consolidate in this range into the afternoon. Now that would be not terrible. The spread is ugly right now though. You can see the level 2 right. Yeah. So we got 482 by 497. We just got a buyer in there at 49. Thankfully, 497 showing 20,000 shares. But I have an idea this is going to prove to be hidden size. We will see if any orders go off at 497 on the time of sales tape. If it does and that 20,000 doesn't go anywhere, then hidden size is confirmed. A lot of times hidden size will show up as a round number like the 10 or the 20,000. Looks like we might have some hidden size on the bid now as well, which would be pretty strong, pretty good indication that there's going to be some support in this area. Right now, not a lot of volume going through. Our last trade was at 10:55.08. It's almost 10:56 now. I know there's a little bit of delay on the live stream, unfortunately, but it is what it is. There is no stream delay on my OBS, but it is on YouTube. So we've been a whole minute without a trade. A little less than ideal, but to be expected going into midday. We're not going to see a whole lot of action happening. There's a trade 491, not for a lot of volume. There's a trade 495 as a buyer steps in there. 2000, still not a lot of volume. There we go. That seller at 497 was taken out. We're now 497 by 499. And skipped right by 499. We're back up to 5 cents, but the hidden size is still there at 499. You can see all these prints go through at 499, but it's still showing 10,000 shares. That's how you know there's hidden size there. So you don't know how many shares are actually for sale at 499. A lot of buyers have been stepping up and hitting that 499. There we go. That hidden size is gone at 499. Now it is at 5 cents. Now they're showing 1,000,000 shares. So if I had to guess, there's some big money that wants to hold this stock down. Of course, you gotta expect the worst with penny stocks. We'll see what happens here, though. Looks like maybe some hidden size at 499 that gets taken out. We're now 498 by 5 cents, and now we're 491 by 498. Looking kind of toppy here. I'm not really liking the chances that this is going to succeed at this point. Maybe if it can hang in this level into the afternoon, gather some more volume, set up for an ABCD pattern, then we'll have better chances. But right now it looks like that $1,000,000 order at sell order at 5 cents scared a lot of potential buyers out. Now whether or not that's a real order or not, they could just throw it up there, and then if it starts getting hit, then they will just take out the order. They'll undo it, delete the order, cancel it, whatever. Sometimes people that want the stock to go down will do stuff like that. No, I wouldn't expect that there's a whole lot of people short in this stock being 5 cents because of the 250 rule. Any stock below $2.50 a share, you have to put up $2.50 capital for each share that you want to short. So there's really no money in it. I know a lot of people that are bag holding OTC stocks will blame shorts for keeping that stock price down, but realistically, there's not many shorts involved in a 2, 3, 5 cent stock. There just isn't. So we will see what happens here. It's looking a little toppy for the time being. My entry wasn't the best at 505, but sometimes when they break that previous high a day, they take off like a rocket, so didn't want to miss that happening. It didn't happen obviously this time. Now it is conceivable that I could add to my position here, but I really want to wait for confirmation of which direction we're going to be heading in before I do add to my position. I'm not super used to wearing headphones, so it's a little uncomfortable for me. I suppose I'm just using it for the mic. I can kind of take them off and set them down, huh? Alright. So we're still watching AVVH. There's definitely some size at 498. Not a whole lot of volume going off. Let's see if there's anything else potentially in play. B now had a nice spike there, but again, pretty low volume, especially being a sub-penny stock. Not really anything I'm interested in. Can be too volatile and too hard to get out of your position. RBSH Now this could set up in the afternoon. This is super light volume, so I'm not a huge fan of this play, but we will see what happens on that one. We're going to go down to previous OTC runners. Of course, TGGI I mentioned earlier. We're going to be keeping an eye on this one for the afternoon, hopefully setting up for an ABCD pattern. And if you're just joining us, make sure that if you're on mobile, you set your settings to high quality. Mine automatically went to 140p, which did not did not look good. It looked like a potato. Thought my stream was still messing up, but it's not. The stream's actually really sharp looking, so if it's not on your end, then you need to change some settings. Do 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 do. So somebody hit the ask there on PCTL for 226 shares. Woo! Going crazy with that $4. So this is going to be a battle of hidden size here. 494 by 495 on AVVH. Boom, 495 got broke there. Now we are 494 by 496. $496 had 8,000 shares go through, 12,000 shares go through, still showing 21,000. I was really hoping there'd be more happening this morning, you know, something that I could show you guys. But it is what it is. We do have that position in AVVH. Watching and watching and watching and watching. I know there's not a lot of people in here right now, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll try and help you out the best I can, whether it is about trading services or stocks, particular tickers. I'll definitely give my best analysis of any tickers that you may have interest in. Bow bow da do 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 do. Na 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 now. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this stream here. There is not a lot happening. So we're going to go ahead and end it and see what happens next time. We will see. So remember, I am long AVVH. Um, Entered at 505 on that high of daybreak, right in this area. Um, and we are risking off from a 48-cent break. If we start getting some volume and break back over 5, I will probably add to my position, um, because the direction is confirmed at that point. If we do not, I will hold probably till pretty close till end of day, risking off from that 48 cent, 4.8 cent level, and see what happens. I wish there's more going on that I could share with you guys, but there really isn't. So we will pick up another day now that I have my settings all sorted out, and see what we can do. All right, take it easy, guys.